Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Podcast below in the description as well. Check it out.
This video brought to you by our friends at wineaccess.com/hammer. You get 20% off.
Yep, 20% off. Wineaccess.com/ham. Use it today, people.
This week, we get them on the field together. The competition begins.
I mean, the quarterback. It starts. And finally, we've talked so much about leading up. Is it going to be Mac Jones? Who's it going to be? Trey Lance. And then the pick finally happened. And then you just kind of take a breath of fresh air, but you're just kind of living in it. Then you have the rookie minicamp, which, like you said, I texted a buddy, like the Bears, they had a full go. They had enough guys because they were running 11 on 11. So the Niners were somewhat even an outlier for rookie minicamp. I think I heard someone else talk about another camp that was definitely they had enough people to run full team. This is going to be, like, to me, the most fascinating part is, obviously, to me, we know one thing. Jimmy's going to be with the ones. My question is, where does Trey start? Like, is Josh Rosen or Sudfeld or is Josh Rosen even on the team? Is someone else the number 2 quarterback? Or does Trey Lance on day one, like, he's just the number 2 quarterback? Or is it one of those where he has to work his way up in the team environment? I don't know the answer to that. My educated guess would be he probably starts at 3. I just think that's kind of a coaching move, like once the older guys get around there. But I don't think it's like, I do think players understand in this modern day, like, this ain't Bear Bryant, Bill Walton days where you got to go freshman, JV in college. Like, you can just start, even Saban, like true freshmen start now.
Also,
if you told me he went with the 2s, I don't think like Trent Williams going to be like, this is weird,
Yeah. Also,
they get
John,
it.
it'd be one thing if It'd be one thing
What's
if
your
CJ
guess?
Beathard or Nick Mullins was there, though.
Yeah.
Guys who'd played games for the 49ers and knew the playbook inside and out. I mean, Josh Rosen's been there,
I think then it'd be a lock. He'd be the 3.
Right?
To start.
Yeah. I think you're right. It is kind of a coaching thing. It's like, can you really start it like that? But also, who are we
kind of test the player a little bit, just.
Yeah, I mean, it's as simple as, like, does he know what to do? Like, that's my question. If he knows what to do, he should be out there as a 2. Does he know what to do?
Well, I mean, he's only been here 2 weeks, right? I mean,
how long's Nate Sudfeld been a Niner?
Well, I mean, yeah, he's actually been at practice probably less because Trey had a rookie minicamp, right? Nate just showed up last week.
I would be put it this way, I would probably be a little more surprised if he's running with the 2s. But to me, there's no reason. I think it's perfectly reasonable to do it. But if we're sitting here, OTAs are happening, and it comes out that he's number 3, I'd go, okay, fine. That makes sense. Doesn't mean anything, but it makes sense. If he's running with the 2s, I think I'd be pleasantly surprised. But again, there's no mystery to what's happening here.
100%. To me, if he's just with the 2s, it's like the race is kind of on. I didn't watch the F1 today, but once they say start your engines, go, like, you just go.
Beep.
If you start them with the 3s, you're cooking the books a little bit. Like, you're forcing him to kind of just, it's going to take a little time. To me, you start with the 2s day one, right, with the full go team. I know it's not, pads on or whatever, but you know what I'm saying, just like drills.
Yeah.
He is just a fuck up from the guy above him and him playing well from just flip-flopping, right? I mean, he's on Jimmy's heels right away.
I wouldn't be surprised. Are there even clear-cut 2s and 3s on this team? Like, to me, there's
you got 90. Well, you got 90 guys. I mean, there's a clear-cut 1, and then to me, because when you run a practice, there are 1, 2s, and 3s.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if I said, okay, separate the wide receiver group into tiers.
Yeah, I mean,
tier 1 is easy.
It's very fluid.
The difference between tier 2 and tier 3,
it's fluid at every position except quarterback. Like, if you have 3 or 4 quarterbacks, you rep with a unit, right? The positions, like, I can move I can tell, Chase Claypool. Well, that's not his name. What's River Craycraft?
Chase Claypool's a real person. He's just not on this team.
Yeah, the Niners would not have Chase Claypool. River Craycraft could be with the 3s, and then all of a sudden they're missing a guy with the 2s. They can yank them in. A little different with quarterbacks, right? Because you're a quarterback set, you just know what reps you're getting.
Yeah.
It's pretty set in stone.
But so don't you expect then? He might just throw it past to George Kittle on Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't expect that. Like, George ain't running with the 2s.
Well, I know, but if you're just rotating, there just might be some cross-rotational situations.
In drills, yeah, it's all intermix. I'm talking about team stuff. Like I don't think
But
you'll
that's
be able
not
to
the
tell
thing.
in
I
anything
think
beside 11 on 11.
what's going to get the attention is there's a drill and he hits Brandon Ayuk on a 40-yard throw.
Yeah, but I mean, you're just going to end up throwing to everybody in drills. To me, when they do 11 on 11, like I'm expecting for that type stuff to happen. Him roll out, throw a deep bomb to Brandon Ayuk in one-on-ones. Like, yeah, you're just going to end up. That happened with C.J. Beathard and Nick Mullins. Just no one was paying attention, right?
Yeah,
Just
people will be paying attention to
not
this.
deep bombs, but completions. I do think when 11 on 11s come out, that will be a big story. Get ready for this. The biggest story beside like completion percentage and drills and stuff will be who he was repping with in team environments, I think.
Yeah, and then
The viral stuff, like the tweet outs and the Instagrams will be like that when they're just throwing, they're working on deep out routes. Right? He's just going to end up throwing to Debo or whoever. Or this, I can see this. He's developing quite the chemistry with Jawan James. Jalen, kind of a guy that guy's on the team. I heard Greg Papa. I was in the car on like Friday, and Papa was like, Jawan James is looking much quicker than he did a year ago. I love this OTA talk. It's like, okay, guys, can we just, everyone looks, is intriguing in an OTA environment. There is not a team around the league that doesn't have like their equivalent of a 7th or 6th round pick over the last couple of years.
I knew James didn't sound right. Juwan Jennings.
Juwan James?
Jennings.
Yeah, I mean, he's just as likely to be, not on the team as he is to make it. But in a practice setting, when you haven't seen people for a while, and you're not really going to what are you really going to say about Brandon Ayuk? Like, he looks sweet. Like, of course. To me, it's the other guys that stand out. It's like, oh, my God, did you see James Hasty? Or I don't even know these guys' names because most of them won't end up making the team. But a couple of them will have moments in these practices.
Yeah. The other big story, I think you're right on the first
I called him Jawan James.
Jawan James.
That's the offensive tackle, right? They got screwed out of $10 million.
From the Broncos.
Yeah.
The Juwan Jennings video we did last year blew up like a year ago.
He's a Tennessee wide receiver, right?
Tennessee guy, yeah. The other story, right, and I think we've mentioned this in the past, but we'll see. Part of the story here is not just, and this is not just for, this week, but it's just over the next several months. It's not just what does Trey Lance look like. It's also what does Jimmy Garoppolo look like? Not physically, but just how good is he? There have been some Jimmy's practices, as you pointed out last week or a couple of weeks ago, have been stories before for, not the best reasons. And I think when we talk about Garoppolo as if injury is the only issue with him, right? It's easy for Kyle to say, yeah, look, Jimmy has had an availability problem, so that's why we needed to investigate adding a new quarterback. But I think one thing we were robbed of last year by Garoppolo getting hurt is really seeing him for a second year as a starter in the league after everyone else had seen him, after the expectations have been ratcheted up, right? When you couldn't say, well, Garoppolo, yeah, he's X amount of years old, but really as a starter, he's basically a sophomore, right? We didn't get any of that last year. And I think what we keep going back to is a single game that he played, week 1, when he didn't look great, and then he got injured, and it kind of invalidated everything we saw from him for the rest of the year. So that's a part of this story too. Now, if Garoppolo, the thing that sucks for him is if he goes 20-20 on in practice, no one's going to say anything. But if he goes 5-16, he's not going to go 5-16. But you know what I'm saying. If it's not good, if Ambry Thomas picks him off twice, or Diamador Lenore gets him, like that's going to be a talking point too, which is part of the challenge for him.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him to get credit for the good, and he's going to get a lot of shit for the bad. Like when I say shit, like obviously, we don't know what's going on inside the building. Like Kyle's probably on him, good or bad, no matter what. And I think that's been a pretty consistent theme. Like Kyle did not give him that many compliments when he was playing in 19, but that was kind of like a way to coach him. But it is not going to be a story if Jimmy throws a couple touchdowns. It might get written in a story, or if we go to practice talked about. It will, though, be a major headline. Jimmy throws 2 picks, Trey Lance shines. Like that to me has a headline written in one of these OTAs or training camp written all over it.
Yeah.
Now, there also could be Trey Lance struggles, Jimmy's fine. Like I don't think it's like Jimmy is just, it's going to be, you're incapable to me of really looking remarkable when your physical attributes are somewhat limited in a practice setting. I remember my first practice with the Eagles, just seeing Michael Vick. He could just do things in practice that would just get like, oh my God. And if you have a Mahomes, a Russell Wilson, a Josh Allen, I bet if we followed those teams like Rodgers every day over their careers, they have moments in training camp where it's like he just made the most remarkable throw we've seen ever in the history of the Packers, right? Or the Bills or whatever. That Jimmy just doesn't have that ability. Jimmy can just look solid and just, I bet Kyle would be like, yeah, we would have won today playing like that, right? We did at practice. Like that was winning football. But it's never going to be like, Jimmy made this one throw, back of his foot, 70-yard dime, across his body, over the other side of the field, over a DB. Like that's just not happening.
Right.
That's not Jimmy.
Trey Lance does have that.
Yeah. I think he's going to have more. He made this one throw on the rollout, 75 yards on a dime. Like Jimmy's arm just doesn't have the capability that Trey's going to have. And he just looks better. And people are just going to, it's just the nature of the business, right? People, his name. Now, Jimmy still moves the needle, like from a writing standpoint or a podcasting standpoint. But like it just, people are just going to want to hear about Trey.
Well, so they're on the field. OTA start Monday. Media is able to watch them on Tuesday. That's an open practice to the media. And so Tuesday is when we'll start getting maybe some details of what happens. I'm sure there will be, as there was the other day, people scouring 49ers.com for photos of what happened, or maybe the Niners post some things of what happens. And we don't get fans out there, I think, until
camp
end of July. Yeah. So that'll be another interesting one, is just what is the environment out there like? And, not that you're getting a stadium full of people, but
if I was Kyle and like we were full go, I mean the whole country is except California, but even if we were, I probably wouldn't allow them into the OTAs to kind of like, I'd be like, Guido, let's just wait till camp. I don't even know if they have before. I don't remember, but that would be something like, let's just tone it down a little bit.
Well, I don't think they've had them out on that deck. Some season ticket holder.
The
thing.
deck stuff. But I mean, you know how in camp when they bring out the bleachers and it's pretty raucous out there for as much as they can get people there.
DJ, turn it up.